Welcome to part 3 of my build a Tardis in Google Sketchup tutorial. I'm going to finish off these side panels by hopefully in this tutorial. So first of all we're going to create the other cutouts in the panel. So we need to double click on the panel we're going to edit to make it editable. Zoom out so we can get a better view of it. Pan down. Okay, select the panel we're going to be moving. We're going to make a copy of it and move it to make it into position. So select the move tool and hold the control key down, start to move it, and snap it to that point there. Move this one up to the next one and move this one up to the next one. There we go, that's the 4 panels down that side. We're going to try a slightly different technique to create the other panels. We're going to highlight the first panel again, move tool, hold the control key down, start to move it, and this is 480 across we want to move it to, so that is 480. Let's create that panel. Now we need to make 3 more up there. We're going to use the move and copy tool and the multiply tool to do this. So hold the control key down, start to move it into position, and that is 470. And we want to do it times 3 because we want 3 copies. And there's the other 4 panels done on that side. As you can see, because it's a component, the other side panels have got the same thing on as well. So we now need to create the windows in these top panels. So we need to change the view to the camera view, and we're finished with all these guides now, so we may as well delete those guides. Edit, delete guides. We don't need those other guides anymore. Right, now we need to make these windows in the top panel. So let's change the camera view to a front view and pan down and zoom in on the top panel. We're going to create a couple of guides to help us initially, and then we're going to use a similar technique I used for the panels on this side to create all the replica windows, because they're all the same size anyway. So here we go. First of all, let's create a guide up from there, 10. And in from the side, in from the side 10, and down from the top 10. So I'm going to do that. Then put the dimension in, move it down from the top 10. Now the size of the windows are 80 across and 165 down. So we're going to get our box tool, do this. From there, move it over, and it is going to be 165 by 80 for the first window, and the same for this one down here. Again, 165 by 80. And that should leave a 10mm gap in the middle for the centre of the frame. If we go back to the ISO view to view this top panel at an angle, pan down and go to the push-pull tool and select this panel here, start to move it inwards. I want to move it in 10, and same for this one. Start to move it in, reference the top panel, or you could just type in 10 and it would snap to the same distance in as the top panel. Let's go back to the front view now. Front view. And again, get the window in view. Right, we're going to select both these windows. We're going to move them. So to get the move tool, hold the control key down so we make a copy, start to move it, and we want to move it 90, and we want to do that times 2, so make a second copy, and there's our 6 windows. Right, move this over. Okay, the distance from here, this point here, to this point here is 480. So if we select all these windows and hold the control key down, no, set the move tool, hold the control key down so we make a copy, and start to move them over. If we put in 480, we've now got the windows in that panel now as well. So if we go back to our ISO view, click here and zoom out, you can see we now have the windows in the top panels and the other panels all cut out. So if you pan this down, we now need to start pulling out some of these other shapes that would make up the panel. So if we go to our push pull tool and do this, start to pull it out, we want to pull it out 20. This one here we want to pull out 10. This one here we want to pull out 20. And this top one we want to pull out 30. Okay, go there, click, and pan down. We can get rid of those guides. We've finished with those guides now. Delete the guides. Rotate it around. Zoom out. And there we have our 4 sides. If you remember earlier in the I think it was in tutorial 2, we hid the columns. So if you go back to the edit menu, unhide all, we get the columns back, and pan down a little bit, and you can see our Tardis is starting to come together. One thing could do with making is on the front panel we've got the telephone box door. So if we go to the front view, camera standard front, and zoom in on the panel that has the door, the telephone door on it, which is this one. If we create some guides from this edge here, because we wanted to move it in, we want that to go in 5, down from the top 5, in from the side 5, and in from the bottom 5. Go to the box tool and snap to that point, no sorry, the box tool, and we need to snap to these points here, these intersections here. It's not easy because they're so close together. Let's try zooming in a little bit. Pan it down. You can maybe zoom in a bit more so we've got more distance, or too much. Try again. Box tool. We can get the intersection now. Okay, go from there to there. Snap to the intersection. We've created a separate panel for that. And we need to make the wooden frame around the outside of that, although we could do with pulling this panel in first. So let's go to the ISO view. Selecting the push pull tool and select that, and we want to push it in perhaps let's have a look there. Push it in perhaps 10. That should make our box shape. Now we need to sort of a wooden panel, a box panel, a rectangle box for the panel. Now if we do an offset that in 30, We've now created the inner panel where the actual door sign will go, and again pull that in. We only need to push it in a little bit, maybe 5, and there we have, if we zoom out, because this panel wasn't editable at the time, it's created a separate panel on top of that panel and not done it on all the other sides as well. So that there is therefore going to be the front of our TARDIS. So rotate it round, okay, and zoom out again, and we're going to end this tutorial here, and in part 4 we'll do the roof section. Well, for those, just one more thing, we may as well delete these guides as we don't need these anymore. So again, delete guides, and that's it. We'll see you in part 4.